All right, so you're thinking about hopping on this Charonium River Styx cruise, huh? With their new STYX token and all?
Definitely worth taking a closer look before jumping on board.
Right. Before we pay the ferryman, so to speak, we're doing a deep dive to figure out what we're really getting into.
Always a good idea with crypto, gotta say.
For sure. So what is STYX? What kind of magic does it bring to the crypto party?
Well, you can think of it kind of like this. It's what they call a utility token.
Okay, and that means,
Specifically, it's an ERC20 token built on the base blockchain for anyone who isn't knee-deep in crypto lingo all day.
like most of us.
Right, right. It basically means it's a digital asset, but it's designed to be used within Charonium's world. Their ecosystem, mainly their Charonium site and that Underverse one.
Ah, so not your typical Bitcoin then.
Nope, not at all. More like, you know how those arcade tokens only work at that specific arcade?
Exactly.
That's more the idea here.
So the STYX value is all about
Yeah.
how much I want whatever Charonium is selling, really.
You got it. It's all tied together. Like, imagine back when Amazon was just getting big
Lick.
and gift cards were becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Those cards were only as good as what you could get on Amazon. If Amazon took off, the cards were more valuable.
Ah, that's a really good way to think about it. So STYX is banking on Charonium becoming the Amazon of whatever it is they actually do.
Exactly. They're very intentional about that, too.
Yeah.
In all the documentation, they make it crystal clear. STYX is not a security. No shareholder stuff, no dividends, none of that.
Interesting. So it's not about owning a piece of Charonium. It's more like,
A ticket to their show, yeah.
yeah, most tokens I see are about speculation. Buy low, sell high, cross your fingers. This feels different.
They're steering clear of that whole game.
Okay, but if it's all about their ecosystem, what can you actually do with STYX tokens? Like, give me an example.
So let's say you're on their Underverse platform. You could use STYX to get early access to games, or maybe unique experiences you can't get otherwise.
Makes sense.
Or you could use SYX to buy digital art, collectibles, that sort of thing, through their Charonium platform.
Okay, so the utility is the real deal here, not just holding and hoping the price goes up.
That's the idea.
Got it. But got to ask about the legal stuff. Notice Austria mentioned a bunch in their docs.
Right. Charonium's based in Austria. Important because that's going to dictate which consumer protection laws are in play, if things go wrong.
And speaking of going wrong, they mentioned a right of withdrawal. What's that all about?
Good catch. Okay, so for 14 days after you buy, you can back out, get a full refund, no questions asked, like a cooling off period, just in case.
Oh. There's always a but, isn't there?
There is. This right only applies if you're a consumer, legally speaking, under Austrian law.
And that probably comes with a whole other dictionary of terms to define it. What does that even mean?
It's a good question and an important one. Basically, Austrian law, it's very consumer-friendly generally. If you're buying STYX for yourself, personal use, not for business or anything, you're likely covered. You get those protections.
So someone like me or our listener just checking this STYX thing out, we're probably fine.
Most likely, yes. But if you're a big-time investor, looking to drop some serious digital cash, talking to a legal expert about it wouldn't be the worst idea.
Probably a good call. All right, so we've got the utility of the token, the legal side of things. But what about the token itself? How's Charonium actually getting this STYX into our hot little hands? So we're not sacrificing goats to get our hands on these tokens, right? How's the rollout going to work?
Thankfully, it's a bit more straightforward than ancient rituals.
Thank goodness for that. So what's the plan?
They're going with a two-phase approach, a pre-sale and then an ICO.
Pre-sale, ICO. Sounds a bit like we're launching a rocket, not a digital coin.
You're not wrong. Think of the pre-sale like early access for the eager beavers. That's happening Q3 of 2024.
Okay, and then the ICO.
That's the main event, Q4 of 2024. Everyone jump in then.
So 2 chances to get on this River STYX. But the pre-sale is like the VIP line, right?
Exactly. It gets the hype going, rewards the early supporters.
Is there a reason they do it that way? Just curious.
Pretty common in the crypto world, actually. The pre-sale usually has limited tokens, creates a bit of scarcity.
Makes sense. Get it before it's gone, right?
You got it.
So if our listener is ready to dive in, they need to set a reminder for Q3.
Exactly. And be ready to move fast. We don't know how many tokens will be available during that pre-sale.
A real race to the River Styx then. Okay, so for anyone new to this whole crypto thing, what exactly is an ICO? It sounds intense.
It's less scary than it sounds. Imagine an IPO, but instead of company shares, you're buying into their digital currency.
Ah, okay. So instead of betting on the stock market, I'm betting on Charonium and their ecosystem.
Exactly. But just like any investment, now remember, there's risk. Crypto is up and down, could all go south.
They can't guarantee we'll be swimming in digital cash, huh?
Nope. And they're upfront about that, which is refreshing.
Yeah.
They explicitly say there's no guarantee STYX will go up in value, could even go down.
Buyer beware. Even on the river STYX.
For sure. This isn't just about speculation. Gotta remember, STYX is about their ecosystem. It's designed for that.
Right. So our listener needs to think, do I want what CHARONIUM is offering? And am I cool using STYX to get it?
Hit the nail on the head. Don't get blinded by the hype. Think about the practicality. What can you actually do with these tokens?
What's the real value?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, going back to that right of withdrawal thing.
Your 14-day safety net.
Yeah. It's cool they offer that, but it all comes back to being a consumer under Austrian law.
Right, and that just goes to show how important those legal details are. Knowing the rules of the game is crucial.
Especially with something as new as this.
Absolutely.
So for our listener who might be thinking, this all sounds awesome, but what if I chicken out? What does that withdrawal actually mean, practically speaking?
14 days to hit the brakes. You change your mind, you get a full refund. No harm, no foul.
No regrets policy for the river STYX.
Exactly. It lets you test the waters. Of course, that whole consumer thing still applies.
So if I'm like a giant company, I might not get that same get-out-of-jail-free card.
That's the gist, yeah. Always got to read the fine print.
Okay, good to know. So we've covered the how to buy part, but there's one more thing. Something about token burning. Now that sounds pretty hardcore.
It's a crucial piece of the puzzle, actually.
Oh, lay it on me. Token burning. It's like setting digital cash on fire.
It's a bit more nuanced than that, but yeah, essentially CHARONIUM is taking a portion of the STYX tokens and removing them from circulation permanently.
So there will be less STIX out in the wild eventually. What's the strategy there?
Simple economics, really. Reduce the supply, potentially increase the value of the remaining tokens. It's a common tactic in the crypto world.
Makes sense, but are they just randomly burning tokens?
Not at all. They've committed to using 12.5% of their net income from underverse and legacy services to buy back STYX tokens. Those are then the ones they burn.
Okay, so they're using their profits to increase the value of STYX for everyone else. Clever.
Exactly. It's a strong signal to investors and users that they're serious about the long-term success of their ecosystem.
It shows they're willing to put their money where their mouth is, so to speak.
Precisely. They're demonstrating a belief in the inherent value of their platform and the utility that STYX provides.
Which brings us back to our main point throughout all this. Understanding CHARONIUM's ecosystem.
Right. It's not about getting caught up in the hype of the token itself. It's about looking at the bigger picture. What can you do within their world? What are the possibilities?
And how does STYX help unlock those possibilities? It's a whole different way of thinking about digital assets.
Exactly. It's about utility, about access, about being part of something with potential.
So, to wrap things up here for our listeners, before you even think about dipping your toes in the river STYX.
Do your homework.
Exactly. Read everything CHARONIUM puts out. Understand what they're building, what they're offering.
And then ask yourself, does it make sense for me? Do I see the value in this ecosystem, in using STYXs?
Because that's what this all boils down to. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about buying into a vision of the future.
And only you can decide if that's a journey you're willing to take.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That wraps up our deep dive into CHARONIUM and their STYX token. Until next time.